And welcome to the Wealthy LaLa Show with myself, Laurie Laursen. How does it get any better? Oh my gosh, these shows juice me up, man. I feel so alive when I get to do these. Oh boy, oh boy. Ah, I'm so grateful. I really am. I am so grateful to be producing these shows, to record these shows, to play with these shows. Oh, and if you ever have any feedback at any time, I would love to hear it. I would really, really would. So, okay. So today is like a continuation of a continuation. So the last two shows, I was talking and sharing about the speaking engagements that I did that last week. And, how on the previous two shows, I shared how I got a flat tire on the way there, how I had sort of anxiety having to go to the bathroom on the way there. I got to there was no taxi service, so I needed to do Uber for the first time all by myself. And so I'm no longer an Uber virgin. How's it get any better? and, and I was just talking about how the speaking engagements were for me. And with the second day in the Trusting You workshop, that's kind of where I left off. And how grateful I am that the workshops were put in the placements that they were, and that I got to do the first two before doing that one, that I really got to invite myself to something even greater and to speak what is me and what I know and from my experience, and just be me. And what was really, really cool about all that is that really, other than being a mom and a grandma, LaLa, I like things in life. I enjoy certain things, but when it comes to something really lighting me up, being a grandma and being a mom were things that just I feel more alive with. On those 2 days doing those 2 speaking engagements, I found that for me. Like, you guys, it was so incredible. To find something beyond being a mom and a grandma. Oh my God. Like it almost gives me no words. And yeah, and if I couldn't have been a mom, I probably would have been in a loony bin or not even here. If I couldn't have been a grandma, I would probably be stealing someone else's grandchildren. That's how much that this meant to me to have those two roles. And I have to say there was nothing quite like being me and showing up and being the contribution that I be. And like, I'm really aware too, like, it's not separate. It's not like my role as a grandma is separate from me being me. But it was like the universe got me to see that me being me is the treasure. So how much more did I allow myself to be me being a mom and in being a LaLa? And then here I got to actually be invited to it in something where it had nothing to do with anybody else around me. It was just the authenticity, the vulnerability, the willingness to perceive and know and be and receive me, and to see what that created, all with a flat tire and really cold weather and winter, and showing up right on time for the workshop, and stuff like that. And that was that's kind of another thing that was really cool about all of this is and being up in the middle of the night with a headache, actually feeling like I didn't even want to go on the second day. Like, I actually woke up in the night and with this headache, and I sat there and I went, I don't want to go. And then I went, okay, but what is that exactly? So I actually asked some questions. And when I asked myself, so truth, does it create greater for me to go to the speaking engagement today, which was the Friday? It was like really, really light. So then I knew that it was going to be a limitation if I didn't choose it. It wasn't going to be something that was actually going to create greater if I didn't choose it. So I was aware that it was just discomfort. It was uncertainty. It was nervous. It was that little bit of fear, like just the right amount of fear to get me out of my comfort zone, to be able to create something new. And okay, just 2 seconds, you guys. 2 seconds. I have something boiling over. Well, no, see, that is a live, wealthy LaLa in action. I literally put something on the stove. Well, I did actually turn it down. I did turn it down, but apparently not enough. So, anyways, it's all good. Oh, too funny. So, anyways, oh gosh, now I scrolled myself out of where I exactly was. So, anyways, I'll just see what we can do about carrying on here. Anyway, so I had woken up at night, and what do I sort of do with all this information and the energy? And actually what I did is I did some tapping on it. I did the EFT tapping. I got myself to a space of, being ease with it all again. And again, reminding myself that I'm not alone. The universe has my back. Other lovely people have my back, and again, I got friends I asked for contributions. And my hubby, as I was going out the door, was really, he was like, you can do this, Laurie, you'll be just fine. Because Friday is funny. You'd think I'd do the first 2 talks the day before and that I would feel so much more confident on the second day, but it was actually in a way the opposite. I felt so much more vulnerable. And, again, it was like I referred to in yesterday's show, that it was just that it was going to be free form, and it was going to be so much more of me and me willing to be me and to be that invitation and see what shows up. And also too, like, it wasn't all planned out. I had a couple of sheets of point forms written down. And it's funny because one of the girls, one of my girlfriends, I'd asked her for some ideas. And she ended up being busy and then off on her way to work and not able to contribute. And I got that was just right too. It was like the universe going, it's okay. You don't need this, Laurie. You're fine. You have enough, right? Enough information, enough awareness. You have enough point forms that you've written down. So anyways, it was really cool. And I was really grateful for how that workshop worked out. And not that I want to say that one turned out better than the other. And there was something that was different about the third one that had a sense of magic that was really, really cool, I thought, in my world. And so, one of the things I kind of wanted to bring up is that I could have looked at those workshops as like, oh my God, I was so nervous. Look how I had to go to the bathroom. Look how I got a flat tire. I got to the class late. I inconvenienced my son. I wasn't able to go for lunch with them. Look I had to pay for an Uber. Oh gosh. I was sorry that I bothered the booster juice guy. Oh gosh, what are some other things? It's like hard for me to think about. It was such cold weather. I probably should have stayed home. This really wasn't something I should have done. Look at all the signs that it was telling me not to go. And I just so call BS on that. And one of the things that I've been chatting about with a couple of other friends is that, the struggle isn't actually real in my world anymore. And I have a really hard time actually finding the struggle in things anymore. And if I do come across a struggle, which I actually did today, I did pick up on something where I actually want to keep the struggle in my world. I'm really aware of the difference and that there's something in it for me. And so then I will use my tools like meditation or EFT or, say journaling or asking some questions or calling a friend to figure out what that is so that I can clear and change that and then carry on and create this continually amazing life. So then, when I look at that day, like look at the workshop and what I did get created, I am now going to have 4 new tires. We needed to do it anyways. I got to have my son and my grandson come and surprise me. And, my son got to help me. Like, that's really cool. When we start to let our kids contribute to us, like, I mean, when I could do that for people in my world, like say if I contribute to my parents or I contribute to other people, I get off on that. Especially, well, it always helps when the people are grateful. I will say that. And I was certainly grateful when Craig showed up. And I got to contribute to the guy in Booster Juice. Just being so grateful to him for helping me set up Uber. And, you guys, oh gosh, what if that's what life is about? It's not about having a perfect life where your tires never go flat and the weather never gets cold and you don't show up late. You never show up late for any appointments. Gosh, like you guys, this is where we create and play and enjoy and contribute to each other and show up and be grateful. And what if that is life, and life is an adventure? So with an adventure, we've got to have things, so to speak, happen so that we can know what we want to ask for, so that we can have experiences with other people. And so there was just, I came out of that was so much grateful. Like I could have been, oh my God, I had a headache in the middle of the night. Well, the headache actually got me asking questions. I got to see how nervous I was about doing something free form and how I could talk myself, support myself however I chose, into knowing that it was going to be just fine. And it did end up being just fine. And not only that, like I did mention in yesterday's show too, in 2 of the workshops, this girl that I went to high school with, she actually came and attended 2 of the workshops. And one of the ladies that originally asked me to speak, or the lady who did originally ask me to speak, I've known her for years, like 30 something years. So in not wanting to show up on the Friday, it was like the universe even had the insight that that could be a possibility. And it's like, Laurie, we're going to put someone in your group or in your workshop so that that they're going to be there. And it was like a beautiful, warm comfort hug. And that the other girl, the woman who invited me to come speak, was going to be there and she'd be excited to greet me each day. And she did on the second day too, and I got to have fun Tim Hortons coffee with a roll up the win to win, roll up the rim to win cup. I didn't win, but it was still fun. So, and when I got to reconnect with this girl from high school, and it was so beautiful. It was just really so fun. Her and I ended up going for lunch together after my last speaking engagement, and she even gifted me lunch. Like, gosh, you guys, if I wouldn't have shown up Friday, I wouldn't have got that extra connection. And oh, it really was. It was just such a full-bodied, wealthy experience. And yes, I did get paid for these workshops. And the wealth in it was wealth of support, the wealth of laughter, the wealth of joy, the wealth of sharing who I be, the wealth of awareness, the wealth of, oh my gosh, being supported by the universe. Just, I'm beyond words, really, truly, truly grateful. And, If I was still doing a theme day, today's Thankful Thursday. I am so thankful. So, anyways, again, on that note, I guess I'm going to say goodbye for today. Thanks again so much for listening. Have an amazing day. And if you can in your world, see if you can find where the struggle is real and see if you can actually turn it around. It's really there, it's possible. And even if you have something you feel like you can't turn around, send me an email and I'll talk about it on one of my shows. thewealthylala@gmail.com. Big hugs to you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day.